Christopher Nolan created a real-life Gotham City on the internet, with over 40 different websites, phone numbers written in the sky, Gotham City newspapers delivered to people's doorsteps, and phone calls from Lieutenant Jim Gordon. It was like nothing anyone had seen before. The Dark Knight movie takes place one whole year after Batman Begins, and so, in the promotional build-up to the new movie's release back in 2007, Christopher Nolan created several websites hidden around the internet in the form of a mystery, telling us a more in-depth story of what took place in that year-long gap between each movie, and you could be a part of it. Over 11 million people across 70 countries took part, and yet barely anyone outside of that group is even aware it existed. It never got the recognition it deserves because the website no longer exists. So today, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what took place. We're going back a whole 11 years to tell you the story behind one of the most incredible puzzles to have ever arrived on the internet. We're now entering the universe of the Dark Knight. May 17th, 2007, a website called ibelieveinharveydent was found on the internet. It was a website created by Gotham citizens after an upcoming lawyer known as Harvey Dent was attracting attention from within Gotham after exposing corrupt police officers throughout the city, which was a main problem we saw in Batman Begins. And that problem wasn't exactly solved by the end of the movie. The site didn't feature anything other than a picture of Harvey followed by the slogan, "I believe in Harvey Dent." A few days after the site went public, a comic book store owner reached out on the internet claiming that someone had sent them defaced Joker cards with the words "I believe in Harvey Dent too," followed by laughter. This led to a parody site known as ibelieveinharveydent2.com. It had the same campaign poster except this time had red marker smeared over Harvey Dent's face and black covering his eyes. The parody site had an email sign up section where you could send a message and get a response from the person behind the website. After sending off the email and getting a response, the site would update and remove 1 pixel on the disfigured Harvey Dent picture and replace it with a different pixel. The more emails that were sent in, the more pixels were removed. When the site gained enough emails, all pixels had been replaced with a picture of a clown. The site was then shut down the next day with the text saying "page not found." However, if you highlighted over the entire page with your mouse, a bunch of ha-ha-has filled the screen, followed by multiple stray letters appearing in between the laughs. When picking out the letters and rearranging them, we get the words, "See you in December." The Gotham Police Department began investigating the strange parody website as we find reports from the Gotham Police Department covering it. They claim that the person behind the stunt could be a man who goes by the name of the Joker, though many officers dismiss that theory as they believe him to be only an urban myth. The second part in the journey began on the 26th of July 2007 at San Diego Comic-Con. Jokerized $1 bills were distributed around the venue with the words "Why So Serious" written on the front. This led to the website whysoserious.com, featuring a poster asking for anyone wanting to become a Joker henchman. Tired of your miserable dead-end job? Ready for a change of pace? Our elite organization is expanding. We're looking for fresh faces to represent us in an important upcoming negotiation. You must be 18 or older to apply. Enjoy a career in a lucrative, ultra-high-profile field. Our associates make their own hours, enjoy great benefits, and in some cases, work from home. Recruits are encouraged to ask friends with access to the internet to help them from home. If you don't have any friends, consider hiring one. Tryouts begin when the clock hits 0. Bring your sense of humor, but don't worry. Will supply the smile. A countdown was also seen in the corner of the screen, which worked out to end at 10 AM the next day, along with a location placed on the poster which led to somewhere near the convention center. Many people gathered at 10 AM to this location and even filmed the event taking place. Once everyone had arrived, a phone number appeared in the sky. Calling the number would lead to a man who seemed to be held at gunpoint, giving out instructions on what people needed to do next.
Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me? Please help. Okay, I'll read it. How many clowns does it take to get a good laugh? 401. I don't get it. These jokes aren't funny. Please, I'll keep going. I'll keep going. If you want to be part of my crew, you're going to need to prove you're up to the challenge. Tell your lackeys at home the first punchline is inside joke. One final joke. What's the last thing I'll ever say? Oh, wait, please. No.
Goodbye.
The website Why So Serious updated to a page saying checkpoint 1 with a submit button below. On the answering machine message, the man said, "Tell your lackeys at home the first punchline is inside joke." If you type inside joke into the password tab and click submit, it takes you to the next checkpoint on the website. This would then give you a second clue to find the next password. People at Comic-Con were then painted in Joker makeup and were sent off into the San Diego streets to solve all checkpoints on whysoserious.com. During some of the checkpoints though, Gotham City police reports were included in the corner. Each one was claiming sightings of a man called the Joker.
Gotham Police Department, citywide alert, details. Shortly after 10, multiple sources began reporting the presence of a dangerous criminal moving rapidly through the city. The suspect was reported to be wearing clown-style makeup. Witnesses described the suspect's manner as bizarre, unpredictable, spiteful, or malicious. Police and public witnesses have confirmed an incredible number of sightings of a dangerous suspect some are calling the Joker. The suspect seems to be everywhere in the city, with sightings pouring in practically simultaneously over a huge area.
Multiple reports are coming through claiming these henchmen are causing havoc throughout the city. Police were looking for a man dressed as the Joker, but are completely unaware there are multiple people dressed as him, hence why reports are coming all around of Gotham City at the same time. At one point in this scavenger hunt, one person in particular from the group of Joker henchmen was chosen to be taken away by mobsters and killed in place of the Joker. Towards the end, the checkpoints on the Why So Serious website, a new Gotham police report claimed that the Joker was dead.
In a bizarre twist, the dangerous individual known as the Joker was murdered today as a result of mob action he may himself have instigated. Multiple witnesses report that citizens dragged a man positively identified as the Joker from a crowd and pushed him into a waiting vehicle. Shortly thereafter, officers discovered the abandoned vehicle and the body of a dead clown. Clutched in his hand was a card. The card was still clearly legible and carried a threat, "See you in December." Obviously, this madman was intending to perpetuate some kind of public outrage this winter. Ironically, his own miscalculations and the public-minded citizens of our city were his undoing.
If you got through all checkpoints, friends on the internet would be rewarded with the first Dark Knight teaser trailer, while people at San Diego would be rewarded with Joker masks. After the event, the Why So Serious website then updated with another police report recapping the entire event for anyone who missed it. They mentioned the Joker bills, the website hiring henchmen, along with the demise of what Gotham believes was the Joker. They ended with this conclusion.
Why was the Joker attempting to recruit an army? Who wanted him dead? How did his scheme go so terribly wrong? We may never know the answers, but at least the city has been cleansed of a dangerous psychopath, and decent people can sleep safely once more, secure in the knowledge that we have seen the last of the Joker.
During the month of November, a competition was held by the Joker. Everyone who took part were then sent Joker makeup along with an official Gotham City newspaper as a prize, the Gotham Times, featuring actual stories that were going on through Gotham City at this point in time. Over 10 different websites were discovered through the newspaper. Each one included contact details and phone numbers, which included their own personal messages if you ever tried to use them. The first site mentioned, which was in the first article of the newspaper, was called whysoserious.org, a site created by Harvey Dent asking for volunteers of Gotham to drop tips on corrupt police officers. All tips will be anonymous, which would make the citizens of Gotham feel safer about telling their story. You could send several police officer names of your choice. You would then receive a different response for each officer, giving us details on what they found after investigating the name you submitted. There was also the Gothampolice.com, which was the official website for the Gotham Police Department. Following that, there was a website called GVA Foundation, a site run by a woman called Dana Worthington, who has announced she's running for district attorney, meaning she GV is one of Harvey Dent's future rivals for DA. GVA stands for Gotham Victims Advocate. It's a site that helps citizens in Gotham who have just recently been robbed, beaten up, and many other problems they've encountered. The site is there to help them get back on their feet and also give advice on how they can prevent this whole thing from happening again. The site even suggests a good home security company, with a link to their official website too. Not to mention, there was also a website for the Gotham National Bank, another site for Gotham City Railway Station, one for the Catholic Church, and another called Gotham USD, which stands for Gotham United Schools District. This was a place giving us updates on all schools throughout Gotham. These 4 sites here didn't really play huge roles to the main story, but they still had small things added in there which helped fill in the gaps for future puzzles. Not only that, they gave some pretty interesting insight on what was happening in Gotham after the major event that occurred in Batman Begins. For anyone who doesn't know, at the end of Batman Begins, Dr. Crane released a deadly nerve toxin into the streets of Gotham, which caused the destruction of quite a few buildings, including one of the trains. So reading up on these sites, we find out how the city is recovering from this destruction. The bank have said they're depositing over 100 grand to local relief agencies to help rebuild some of the damages. We also find out how the railway station are dealing with the event, with several updates telling Gotham citizens about new routes they've set up while repairs occur between the Wayne Central Station and the Narrows. Even the United Schools page mentions that they'll be taking different routes for the school buses due to the damages and the possible nerve toxins still out there in the Narrows. In fact, a lot of the articles in this first issue of the newspaper talk about how the city is recovering after the events that took place in the first movie. One of the main things that happened in the movie was watching the fall of the Falcone family. The Falcone family had a lot of power over Gotham street gangs before Batman intervened, and had Carmine Falcone, the boss, arrested. In the Gotham Times, they suggested after Falcone was arrested, a man called Sal Maroni stepped in and took his place and is currently trying to repair the losses caused by Batman. However, now that the Falcone family has clearly been weakened after losing their main leader, other gangs are appearing out of the woodworks and are trying their best to be the next in command. The loss of Falcone left criminal gangs without a clear boss. Each family thinks they have the upper hand now and are refusing to back down. According to the Gotham Times, this has resulted in a mob war that is continuing to get worse as time goes on, especially since corrupt police officers are taking bribes and are looking the other way when these events are happening. A perfect example of this is in the story Gang War Claims Girl. The article talks about a girl called Gina Tortorici who was shot after mobsters raided a festival. 2 police officers were supposed to be at the scene protecting the citizens, but they disappeared for about 45 minutes, and coincidentally, those 45 minutes just so happened to be the time the mobsters broke into the festival and started firing. The article doesn't name these 2 cops, but in the last sentence it tells us the father of Gina has created a website in honor of his daughter. We can find the website by searching Rememberinggina.com. On the website, he flat out names the 2 cops who abandoned his daughter, Carl Breitup and Jason McCree. Jason McCree we don't learn much about, but we do for Carl. Carl actually owns a Gothamcab company, which is found on the newspaper, along with an actual website called Gothamcab.com. The site gives us a little information about Carl's family business that's been running since 1995 with his wife. If we submit the names Jason McCree and Carl Breitup to the We Are the Answers website, we receive an email claiming that Harvey Dent will start investigating these 2 police officers and will get back to us shortly. After a few days, people who included their phone numbers in the email received a strange voicemail from a corrupt police officer threatening them.
You think about how they might have brought it on themselves. You think about who you want on your side. You want to know what the score really is? Check out document LC6551. You know where to look.
He actually tells us to look up a file, LC6551. The file he's talking about can be found on a secret page on the Gothampolice website, hidden behind a password. We can actually log in as the officer Carl Breitup. On the Gothamcab website, it clearly says the family company started on Valentine's Day 1995, which was his 10th wedding anniversary. If Valentine's Day in 1995 was their wedding anniversary, then that means they were married on the 14th of February 1985. Typing in 021485, LC65 as the password, and we gain access to the file LC6551. The file tells us how dangerous Gotham has become. The man on the phone is clearly trying to show us why he does what he does, and how we don't understand what's going on. But if we ignore the threats and continue digging, we can find out more about the investigation of the two corrupt police officers. The site GPIAD is discovered. It stands for the Gotham Police Internal Affairs. They help with the investigation on corrupt police officers, making sure that the accusations against them are not false, and if they are false, they make sure their reputation isn't tarnished by it. The main part I want you to focus on this website though is their Spotlight of the Month section. But Glenn Barheit, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Glenn is one of the main officers we see throughout the majority of this game, and even has his own contact email. People were quick to send messages out to him in hopes we'd receive more clues. And we did. Some even claimed they were receiving personalized responses from the email. And after a bit of back and forth, Glenn brought up a new file name to look at. If we search it up on the Gotham Police website and try and log in as Carl, the password is rejected. Carl doesn't have clearance to view this file, so we need to sign in as someone who does. Glenn. We already know his full name and we now just need a password. His password is his favourite song, which is mentioned in his Spotlight post. Arguably the Stones' biggest hit from 1965. Typing in satisfaction into the password and we gain access to the file, including an audio feed that is set to take place on the 1st of December at 3 PM Eastern Standard Time. Glenn is planning to wiretap a restaurant called Bettyshouseofpies, which, you guessed it, has its own website, and has a full detailed menu on what to order. Betty's House of Pies is actually considered to be an area where shady dealing from street gangs take place, which is why this location has been chosen. Glenn is planning to invite the two possibly corrupt police officers, Carl Breitup and Jason McCree, to House of Pies and catch them taking a fake bribe. On the Gothamcab website, November 30th, the internet is able to hack into the answering machine of Carl and find a message from someone inviting Carl and Jason to Betty's House of Pies. On the 1st of December at 3 PM Eastern Standard Time, we could finally access the feed. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the voice file on the internet, but there is a transcript out there of what actually was said during this feed. We hear the deal take place and the Gotham Police charge in afterwards, followed by gunshots. The feed cuts out and the next day we're left with another audio file to listen to. Jason McCree is arrested, but Carl was shot and killed. A few days later, we receive an email from Wearetheanswer thanking us for our tip, but not to expect anything from this part of the game for at least a few months to come. While all of this was taking place, the Joker had his own game playing out. If we go back to the newspaper, we find a small classified ad revealing an email created by the Joker himself. A classified ad in our latest issue was incorrect. The ad should have read, "Charming, handsome man with dazzling smile seeks amateur clown for discreet encounters. No previous sense of humor necessary. Criminal record, a plus. Interested? Write to human resources at whysoserious.com in the full understanding that we have your email and might send you alarming, disturbing, or annoying material at any moment." Sending an email would result in this response. "See you found my little message. The first step of your application process awaits, if you know where to look." Once the message was received, we gained digital copies of the Gotham Times newspaper on the internet, but a tear in the front page could be seen in the corner. Pulling it back would reveal laughter. Clicking on the 3 ha-ha-has would take you to a parody page of the Gotham Times, completely Jokerized. Certain words would be circled for a puzzle that would lead to another website, and the Joker scavenger hunt continued. Following through multiple different areas, taking personality tests, opening safes, revealing files we shouldn't be seeing, all the way to the end. And once it was solved, everyone who took part were rewarded with a trailer for The Dark Knight that was being screened at several IMAX theaters. But that's not all we received from this scavenger hunt. On one of the websites, a letter from the Joker appeared, giving out 6 different locations around the world to collect a prize. All locations were bakeries. People hurried around to collect the 6 cakes under the name of Robin Banks. Upon digging into the cakes, a Joker phone was discovered, asking the participants to hold onto the phone for further communication. And so we arrive at the end of part 1 for the Dark Knight universe. We've only covered around 50% of the entire game, and I hope to cover the rest of the story in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, or even hit that notification bell if you want to be notified for the second part, because YouTube isn't very good at doing that kind of thing. If you still want more of the Dark Knight universe and all that ARG stuff, I've actually made a few extra videos on my Patreon going more in depth on each website, including the puzzle websites that the Joker made. Or if you want to do some research on the whole Dark Knight ARG, then check out my sources in the description. A big shout out to all my Patreons, especially Cards in Hand, Marco Perry, Juan Sanchez, and the rest of you guys. I can't thank you enough. Take care, every single one of you. Stay safe, and don't pull a Pickard.